God, no, Sharpay. Ma!
Ma! Oh, Paco.
Paco's like, Mom, are you okay? This could... Ma!
Ma!
Ma! He's so tired. Anyway, yeah. Grr, grr, grr. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for clicking on another video. Today's video is just going to be us three, and we are going to be talking about specifics to do with our mental health issues and how we're dealing with them, how we discovered how to, utilize, no, that was a bad path to go down. How we found ways to deal with our unique problems. Hi, I'm Ella.
Hi, I'm Sara.
Hi, I'm Eilish.
Do either of you guys want to start with something? Sarah, you had a book that you wanted to recommend. It could be a good place to start.
Yeah, I mean, it's Unfuck Your Brain. It's it basically is like a sciencey book.
Sciency.
I know. A sciencey book that kind of like helps you understand why you have like freakouts and depression and anger and anxiety, and like find out why certain triggers are like larger than others. And like it does talk a lot about like trauma, and like I think trauma as well like is a big thing for me to discover and learn about. But like it talks about like suppressed trauma, and basically just helps you understand it like in an informative sort of sciencey way. Like she swears throughout the book, which for me, I don't know why, makes it seem really like down to earth and like human, because she's just like, what the fuck, brain, kind of thing. Like she did like it seems really like I just think it's a good book to read, and also she's got cartoons in it and stuff, so like it's cool.
We love a picture book.
We do. Eilish has got one as well.
So this book literally changed my life. I mean, the title's it's called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, How to Lose Your Mind and Create a New One. So it kind of takes you through the quantum physics and how you can like apply this to your own life. And it also, at the end of the book, has a 4-week introduction to meditation. And this is where I started meditating. And my life just completely shifted. I cannot recommend it enough. Like, I'm not going to go into detail because I'm not a science expert or a quantum physics expert, but honestly, this book is gold.
It's actually
well, I don't
blue.
have a book to recommend because I can't read, but they both sound like good read. So it's Unfuck Your Brain, and what was that one called?
Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I think that's how you say it.
Dispenza.
I'd say as well, there's another one that I've been listening to on audiobook or Audible, whatever the hell it is. Specifically about a woman with OCD, and she sort of looks back and she's basically storytelling on her life. But like when you know quite a bit about OCD, like you can see like that's not normal behavior. That's like all to do with her OCD, and it's a very interesting book for me personally, as someone with OCD. But I think for everyone to like read it to understand OCD, if you have a loved one or like a family member or a friend or whatever with OCD, like definitely read it. It would help you understand. It's called Because We Are Bad by Lily Bailey. Definitely good. I've suggested it to my dad and my mom because I just think like they'll understand me a lot better listening to it as a, it's told and explained very well within this sort of storyline. It's not very sciencey, so like it's easier to understand, I think. Yeah.
On the topic of helping others to understand what you are going through inside your own head, let's talk about what we've each done to try and achieve that with our issues, if you want to call them issues. I mean, I call mine an issue. I have depression. Sarah, you've got OCD and anorexia. Do you suffer with depression or anxiety, or
Yeah, like they both come, well, okay,
play a
so
part?
it's like weird. I see it as like a chain. So I'm autistic, like I got Asperger's, and that sort of, I think the way I see it triggers the OCD, and then the OCD kind of triggers the
Is it like those
anorexia.
shitty flowcharts that we made in
Kind of.
secondary school?
It's the way I see it is like a journey kind of thing, like in the flowcharty kind of way. So it's like autism, OCD, anorexia, but like they all kind of in their own sort of way has like caused me anxiety, or like obviously OCD is an anxiety disorder, so like anxiety is sort of runs through it the whole way, but like depression is, I think personally for me, caused by my anxiety, because I think I get so anxious that I'm just like, I want to die. This is
I'd be
awful.
really interested because I'm a very visual person, I'm a very visually creative person, and I'd be really, really interested to see what that exactly looks like drawn down. So if you like grab a piece of paper and you draw that like flow chart, and you draw like lines connecting your depression with what you think caused it and like arrows back to it, I'd be really interested to see what that looks like.
No, definitely. I mean, I think it's a weird one, because I don't think many people quite understand like a lot of mental health things. Well, they do and they don't, because it's people are skeptical, and like mental health is hard to diagnose because they do all overlap, but the whole point of them overlapping is how like it actually like they start to make sense when you see how some of them overlap and whatnot.
Okay, so we're back. The time already ran out because 45 minutes feels like nothing with these guys. It's so easy to talk to you, and we can just get carried away, which is why we're in a different order now. But that don't matter. We're just gonna continue. There was something I was gonna say off the back of what you said, Sarah, which was I have only been diagnosed like officially with depression, but I suffer from panic attacks every now and again, and obviously that's it's this is the thing. It's a symptom of many different things, but anxiety as well. I think it comes into that, and I think from my depression grows this. I am the quiet one. I am the sad kid. What do people think of that? And that's where my panic attacks kind of came. They came from a place of depressiveness. So like I kind of understand it. Obviously, you've got a lot more branches on your tree. That was a weird analogy, but you know what I mean.
So I haven't actually been diagnosed, but I do suffer with not depression, anxiety. But I think the more I've kind of looked into it, I think I actually did have depression, like not that I was so much like sad or down. It was like I was numb, like nothing made me excited anymore, like literally nothing. Like I just was like, it was like this pain in my chest, like constantly like weighing me down. And it was like constantly in that like fight or flight mode. And it just like sucked all the life out of me. Like I literally just didn't look forward to anything. And anything I did look forward to, it was kind of like, it was like I was doing it because I thought it would make me happy, but it really didn't. It was like, right, the idea, oh my God, I could be happy. But it was like, it just wasn't happening. And I think I didn't realize at the time, but I really do think it was my anxiety did cause me to have depression as well. Again, this is not diagnosed, but I think you kind of know in your own heart. But really my healing journey began when I surrendered to my anxiety, and I didn't realize that until like a few weeks ago. But I found a letter that I wrote to myself on the 8th of January 2020. So I'm going to share it with you all, because it's just mad how like I look back now and I'm like, it actually was when I was like, right, I surrendered. Like I wasn't fighting it anymore. I was like, right, okay, I have this. What does it mean? And I dove deeper.
Was this something that you just did because you thought it might help, or did you read it in like a help book or someone advised it? No, it's just something that you just came up with.
No, well, I'm sure it probably is a technique that people use.
Yeah.
But it kind of just was like so bad one day that I was like, I need to contact it I need to have that communication. We need to build a relationship, or it was just like, I have to talk to it. We have to sort this out, whatever is the root of the cause, because I can't fight it anymore, because it doesn't work. Fighting it does not work. But yeah, so I'm going to share my letter. So, dear anxiety, I can feel you in my chest pushing down on me. You are alive within me. You are a force I can't explain, a darkness inside me I cannot control. I never know when you're going to come around, but when you do, I am lost. I am unable to explain in words. You are a broken part of me coming to the surface. Who am I? For I no longer know. Anxiety is a part of who I am now. Anxiety, I embrace you and accept you, because I am stronger now. For each day I suffer a pain that is unbearable, but I do it anyway, because I choose life, even if it's a life with anxiety.
God, I felt a couple of tears rise up there. I was like,
yeah, my heart was like pumping, because like I do, like, because I've been on this healing journey and I have taken action to kind of find the root of the cause and dive deeper. Like, I forget how much pain I was in, and I think going back and remembering that and remembering how far I've actually come is really powerful. And like, I know that everything I've been through, I can share that with other people to hopefully help them as well. So I think that's why I think stories are so important, and like how we have the power to change our own story. Like, the story we tell ourselves every day affects us. We might not realize it, but it does. Like, a lot of our thoughts and stories are on autopilot, and we have the power to change that. Like, we do choose our own reality, but we need to take action, and it is a transition. Like, there's definitely like a battle, because your body and your mind so used to this autopilot self. But when like you dive deeper and right, what do I want to be? Who am I really? Instead of this kind of constant kind of, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's like this self that you think you are, or that you've decided you are, instead of it's kind of like you're a victim to your own thoughts, but you're not. Like, you have the power to claim them back. And it's like taking back that power. And yeah.
that's exactly what it is. That's exactly how it felt, which is like, something's happening to me and it's not my fault. And then when you kind of realize, like, but it is my fault, because it's me, it's my brain, it's my chemistry, it's my makeup. But it's really, really difficult. But like, I see where you're coming from. Sorry, Sarah, I interrupted you.
That's fine. I just wanted to say, like, I think it's something really important to remember how far you've come, because I did have a wobble yesterday, and I kind of just, I was like, it was almost like demoralizing, like realizing, oh God, like, I'm really feeling like, basically just feeling suicidal, and I hadn't felt like that pretty much to such a like high degree since I was in hospital and stuff. And I just thought, like, what, like, this isn't okay. Like, I've just gone backwards. But then, like, the more I thought about it and the more I like sort of reminisced on it, I was just like, I've come so far. And like, it's similar to Eilish. I was like, I wrote a poem when I was like really depressed, and sort of just after I'd come out of the hospital and stuff. And I was just like, when I reread it, it does, like, it gives me the chills, because I'm like, it just explains exactly how bad it was. And when I felt bad yesterday, I felt bad, but there was no way in hell I felt that bad. And also, it lasted like half a day, whereas before I had that for like months. And it just, it's important to like, it is important to look back and remember how far you have come, because I felt really rubbish. I felt like doubly rubbish, because I thought, well, I've taken like 10 steps backwards now. But then I realized, actually, no, it's probably only one step backwards, but then 5 steps forward, because I've realized that I've come so far. I might read my poem if you guys want to hear it. It's got a lot of swearing in it. The title is "Depression is a Fucking Disease." So yeah, I mean, so's YouTube. Okay. Depression is a fucking disease and it's killing me. Okay? It's actually killing me. Eating through my brain cells every fucking day. I'm not allowed happy thoughts. Nope. Depression eats them up and wallows in their remains. Depression is a fucking disease and it's beating me. Every day I feel like I'm one step ahead, it trips me, and I'm off my feet again. I can't walk without my crutches, and that's if it allows me to walk at all. Most days I just lay in bed, but am I lazy? No. Depression is a fucking disease and I am tired. If I don't wash, I am dirty, and if I don't move from my bed, I am lazy. But if I don't rest and give myself time to just be, then I become overwhelmed and anxious, and I really just can't breathe. Oh yes, that. Depression is a fucking disease and it's suffocating me. It's sitting on my chest or holding my head underwater until I'm so lightheaded, gasping for air. Something's just not quite right. Is it me? Am I the problem? What the fuck is going on? Control yourself, you stupid little girl. It's like nowhere is home and everywhere is dangerous. Every thought is scary and every action doesn't make sense. Depression is a fucking disease and I am alone. It's just me and it, no one else. Nobody cares. You're just a burden anyway. Everyone is better off without you, so it says. And I believe it. There's comfort in loneliness. At least that way I'm not letting anyone else down. Depression is a fucking disease and it makes me want to die. What's the point anymore? Will it ever go away? Nope. You've always been like this, don't you remember? It'll never go away and it'll only ever grow worse. You might as well stop yours and everybody else's suffering and just end it, you selfish little girl. Depression is a fucking disease and it's killing me.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. That was powerful.
Like, I remember when I went home for Christmas, and when I first went home, like, my mom was so worried about me. She was like, you're so skinny, like, you're not talking, you're just sat, like, you know, I was just like not there kind of thing. I was just a person, like, and my mom was like, she expressed how worried she was, and I read her that poem and I couldn't look at her when I was reading it. Actually, I didn't even read it. I'd voice recorded it when I'd first written it, like that night. So like the emotion was so raw because it was there and then. And I played her the recording. I couldn't even look at her. I was just like, I was looking down. And when the recording stopped playing, I looked up and she was just in tears. Like, I've never seen my mom like, it was just like, she was like white faced and her tears were just like streaming. There was like, it was just like, what the hell kind of thing. And I just remember being like, oh my God, like, I think that is the best I've ever expressed how I feel ever. And like, I'm a songwriter, so like for me, I would have thought like maybe my songs were like a good way, but no, like it was like my mom was just like, I get it, I just get it now. And I'm like, and she just said it was so powerful. Like, she's like, I'm crying not because it was, you know, like it was sad and it was moving, but I'm crying because I don't like the fact that my daughter feels that way. And from then on, she was just sort of like, anything you need, I'll do it. Do you know, like, she just said like, I just want to help you, I don't want you feeling like that. I would say though, I think like writing poems and writing letters and, as it says in the book, giving that bitch a name, you know, like personifying your mental health and your issue and like confronting it, like really does help. And I think, Ella, you're an artiste. And you sort of, I think you've spoken about it in another video. Oh, stop.
I've got hay fever. You know how it's springtime, right? It's not snowing outside. I've got hay fever.
But like you did your Umbra and you've spoken about Umbra before. But I think definitely like,
yeah. Before I talk about Umbra, I wanted to latch on to what you said and your story about with your mum, about how you recorded this recording and you played it to her, and how it must have been difficult but also liberating at the same time. And when I had a counselor at university, I remember bringing up the fact, and I kind of forget about the fact that I did this. But when I was in my really, really, really bad place, sometimes I would like go outside at like 3 a.m. to like have a cigarette in the cold, and I would just kind of sit and just like try and not go on my phone and just give myself a break from scrolling, and just try and like feel something a bit different. And I remember I would record these voice notes and just say whatever I wanted. How I felt, how other people made me feel. And if I cried, I cried. Like, I wasn't going to show anyone these damn voice notes. Like, they were just for me. I remember I accidentally told my counselor, and she said, like, why don't you like bring your phone in next time, and like let's have a listen to it, like one of them together. And I went home and like for a whole week kind of thought about this idea, and I kind of re-listened to some of the voice notes. I was like, I'm not sure I want to share. And I went into the next session thinking, I'm not going to share this. Is like, it's too personal, it's too much. But something about like the way she was sitting and the way she was looking at me, and I was just like I trust her, like I'm going to do this. So she made me sit in a comfortable position, which was cross-legged on this chair, and she said, close your eyes and just relax. And within like 3 seconds of the recording, I had my head in my hands and my eyes were closed, but I was still like crying through my closed eyes. And it was so, so, so powerful. Like, I can't explain the emotion I felt hearing myself speak ill of myself in front of someone who doesn't necessarily know me very well, but is obviously there to help and listen. But the idea, like, I can hear myself badmouth myself and speak shit and degrade myself and tell myself that I am nothing and I'm worthless and I'm useless and I'm a waste of space, and literally everything I do is completely just worth nothing. And knowing that someone else is hearing that and knowing that they're going to be like, that's bullshit, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know it's bullshit. Like, I just hate myself, but I am worthy. I am loved. I am a human. I deserve all these things. It was very, very powerful. And when the recording stopped, I was like, I just felt so bad, because you would never say anything like that to someone else.
Yeah, you'd never say it about anyone else. So
this is the thing, is like, she told me this multiple times, and it sounds so like condescending if you have that mindset, but like, you have to be your own best friend first. And that's the thing, is that I have friends and I'm like, oh, you should do this and you should try this, but saying that to yourself is so difficult.
I think that's
but
it.
Yeah, that story really touched me, because the voice notes I made about myself were horrible, but they were how I felt at the time. But then hearing them with someone else in the room, I was like, shit, I'm being really horrible to myself.
I think it's important to remember like how far you've come, and like, like you don't necessarily always give yourself credit for the good things, like you do sort of fixate on like I was saying, like I had one bad day and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm back where I started. But like, you need to remember all the good things that you could probably write. If you were really forced to sit down and think, you could probably do just as many voice notes about good things about yourself. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's important to remember. Shut up, don't give me that look.
You know what I'm just thinking, like the way I mentioned at the start about the story we tell ourselves and that we don't even realize it, that through creative expression and then voice notes and listening to them back with someone else, you realize the story you were telling yourself, and you realize that was beyond the truth. You know what I mean? It was like, I think that's why creative arts are so powerful, because I think talking and trying to figure things out in your mind and holding it in your body, it only gets you so it doesn't really get you anywhere. Actually, it's like you have to find a way to flow with this energy, to feel into it. Like, what is your body trying to tell you? Like, what way can I express this? Is there a way I can look at this from another perspective? Because as soon as it's on paper, or as soon as it's like you're moving it, or whatever way you feel comfortable expressing it, you can see it. So you're kind of like looking at it at a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so powerful, because you can gain so much from that, because trying to figure things out internally and like kind of like thinking it through and just holding it, like, oh my god, I feel like this, like that's horrible. That's just holding it. We need to express, we need to flow, we need to see it for what it really is, and then we can gain new perspectives and insights. And that's where change really happens, because you're like, whoa, what? Why have I held on to this so long? And creativity and just expression, it's the core of who we are. And we forget that. Like, as children, we played, we screamed, like we were just free. Like we fully expressed ourselves, but somewhere along the way, something happened and we became these, I don't know, it's like this masked version of ourselves. And we forgot, because our body knows how to heal itself. But because of the systems and the way we're programmed, it doesn't like have awareness around how powerful creativity it is and how healing it is, and how like we all played as a children, we all rolled around the floor, we all, you know what I mean, it was just like that's our natural way of being, and we forgot it. And no wonder like we're holding on to all these emotions because we've forgotten our true way of being, which is expression, which is creativity.
I want to really link onto that because, like, I mean, you guys already know, but I've been wanting to share this on the channel for quite a while. But like the last sort of couple weeks, I've been staying at my boyfriend's house in Ireland, and he's got 2 younger sisters, and there was just something that like was sitting wrong with me, and I was trying to express it to Jordan, my boyfriend. I was like, I feel selfish for thinking this, and I don't really know. I feel like an evil person, and like the more I dove into it, like, and did stuff about it, like it made sense. But obviously, like his little sisters are really like playful and like really loving, happy, innocent beings. Like I love them to bits. They're so bubbly and like they're awesome. Like they're really cool, and it's so funny like watching them from like an adult perspective, because like I know things they don't. So like they're saying stuff and they don't realize how funny it is. But I kind of had this realization. I was just like, the eldest one is 6, and I was like, I wasn't like that at that age, and I was getting really like jealous. I was like, why is she like that and I wasn't? And you know, you're saying about that one thing that kind of changed it all. Like for me, that was being sexually abused. And I was saying it, I was like, that innocence and that happiness and that playfulness and was just completely stripped from me from like such a young age, and like taken away from me, and to the point where I was actually like sat in my boyfriend's mum's house trying not to cry because I was watching his little sisters playing and being fun and being innocent and you know all these things, and I was just like, that's so unfair. And I was just thinking it to myself, I was like, this is really like a negative thing, like to be feeling like I should be happy that they're not, that they haven't been through what I've been through, and that they are able to be happy. But I just couldn't, I was like, I almost didn't want to be around them because I was like, get out my face, like you're making me feel bad about myself. And I said to Jordan, like, I don't feel good about it. And I was like trying to think of things to do to like get over it. And I said to like my dad, I said, oh, I might talk about this thing on the channel. He doesn't know about it yet. I've been wanting to tell him. I've only told my mom so far. And my mom's very understanding, being very helpful with it and all. My dad was like, I don't really think you should talk about it on the channel. And I don't know, part of me felt like attacked. I was like, well, why can't I talk about it? Like, you know, this is my trauma. I want, you know, I want to get better. And I think the only way of doing that is to like face it. And he obviously doesn't know what it was. So I was like, he just doesn't understand. And you saying how your body knows how to heal itself, I just got this fire in my tummy. And I was just like, I'm doing something about it right now. And I messaged the person that sexually abused me as a kid. And I said, do you remember doing this to me? And as soon as I sent the message, I was like, oh, what have I just done? Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever done. Started like crying, panicking. I was like, no, what the hell? Oh my God, I've ruined my life. Oh my God. But their response was like, not straight away, but like, I'm like, when talking about it a bit more, like, yeah, I do remember some of that. Like, I mean, they were only young at the time. I think they were about 11 or 12 themselves. And like, we did discuss it, and like, we both kind of understand each other's points of view. And I said to like, it's, you know, fair enough, you were young as well. but the reaction and the effect it had on me would have been the same if it was like an 80-year-old man doing it. Do you know what I mean? Because I was still a kid and the innocence was still taken away from me. I was like, I do understand your side of it. And you know, it was like this thing on top of my head, and I was just like, ah! And then as soon as like I spoke about it and like confronted it, it was just like, whew. And ever since then, I'm just like, I feel like I have healed, and my body just knew in that moment, like it was like someone punched me with like a fiery fist and was just like, you need to sort this out right now. Do you know, like, you're 21 years of age, this happened like 14,
You know what that
15
was? That
years
was
ago.
your subconscious saying, girl, it's time. Like,
yeah,
this will help you, this will heal you. And it's so, so good for you to voice that kind of stuff. And I just want to say, like, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of you for doing that. Not only for doing that, but for also feeling like you can share it and feeling like sharing it will help you, because not only will it help you, but it will help others as well. Like, even if it just touches one other person, and they feel like strong enough to message their attacker or their abuser or whatever. You're so strong, and I am so proud of you.
thank you. I mean, I think it helped this person as well, to be honest, because I think they'd always had
You're helping so many people.
I think like they had this sort of like subconscious thing, and like, you know, he actually said to me, he was like, you and your brothers were my first best friends, and he's like, I feel sick to my stomach that this has happened and it's had this effect on you. And he's like, I didn't realize. And I'm just like, it felt so much better, because like whenever I was seeing him face to face, I was like, get the hell away from me, like I don't want to see you. Like as soon as I'd remembered it, and like the suppressed trauma had sort of come up, whenever I was seeing him, I was just seeing them as this evil person. And now I'm like, he's not evil, he's just, you know, he was a troubled kid just like most other people on this planet. And like it makes so much sense now. Do you know, like it doesn't, it's bad, yes, but it's not as bad as it was initially. And like at least now I can like be like, well, this actually happened, this is, you know, I can move on. I actually, the thing about suppressed trauma, which I find really interesting, is that it manifests itself in like different ways that you don't always remember detail for detail. And I think that was the thing I struggled with the most, because I was sick in the head and I was having these sexual fantasies about this member of my family, and I was like this is weird, like I bleh, kind of thing. And when I actually spoke to him and I was like, do you remember this? And he kind of was like, I remember bits of it, yeah. I was like, it wasn't in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, it just, everything just made sense. I just felt so much better. But like the trauma then was just kind of like resolved, and I don't know, like suppressed trauma is so damaging, like so damaging.
I think your story is so powerful. Like the fact that like you can tell that you have empathy for this person now, because you literally just said, like, you know, he was a troubled kid too. I think that is just amazing that you can even show compassion. I know that would be so hard for anyone who's been through that, but that is just such a step in your healing journey, because that is you letting go, that is you seeing new perspectives, that is like you from the heart, like that is just like forgiveness. And it's just so powerful. And I think with suppressed trauma, it definitely manifests in different ways, like we don't even like realize it. Like it just like it manifests in dreams and everything. Like it's just like, again, your body knows how to heal itself, it's sending you messages, and you've tapped into that wisdom, you listened to your body and what it wanted. And I think a lot of us don't realize the wisdom that our body has, but these things keep coming up, like anxiety or dreams, or, you know, these different emotions are coming up for a reason. They're coming up to the surface because they need to be heard, they need to be expressed. And like, I think we just want to fight them, we want to push them back down, but it doesn't work. It has to come, it has to flow, it has to be, because yeah, holding on and pressing is just, yeah.
I think, don't get me wrong, like I wouldn't have been able to do any of this this time last year. Like I think the thing, if you're watching this and you're, relating and whatnot, I think it's important to remember that it happened. Like don't rush yourself, let it happen naturally, and like with time, when your body feels ready and when you feel ready. Because if I'd done that like probably last year, it probably would have had like a negative effect. Whereas now, because I'd sort of done the work on myself in order to be able to do something like that, it was effective. So I think you just need to do it when you're ready. But like Eilish says, like your body will tell you when it's ready.
So techniques such as meditation and journaling and painting are just also powerful. Like tap into that creative person that you are, because we are all creative beings. Like we are all, like I think we forget that because society doesn't really want us to all just be like artists or creative beings, but you are creative. As a child, like what did you like to do? Did you like playing with toys? Did you like dancing? Whatever that is, it kind of usually links to that actually. Like I think wherever you find joy then, you can find joy in now.
I touched on this on my Umbra video, which was like humans would not be where we are today without creators. We are all creators. And I make a really bad analogy to the man who created the wheel. But no, I completely agree. Like it's ridiculous that some people think they aren't creative. It's like everything you do, every decision you make, like is ridiculous. But sorry, continue.
But yeah, a practice that I've started recently, which is like so liberating, and I know not everyone can do it because I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's fine. But I've literally started to go out like side and like start like screaming, because apparently like there's such like power in like voice. I think a lot of us kind of like, our voice is very much, we kind of dull it. But like just like that expression where you're just like shouting or like singing or whatever it is so powerful. And it's really funny because every time I do it, like I get like giddy. Because I think because it's funny, like I'm going outside screaming, I get really giddy, and then I start like running up and down the back of the house. And there's this wee robin that always
I'm
comes.
so jealous that you can do that. Like,
but you can find ways to do it, within your own environment. But this wee robin always comes when I do it. I'm just like, this is so weird, because I just feel like that's like the universe's message to me that like, yes, girl, you're tapping like your inner wild woman, and I'm just like, woo.
Shall I turn off my mic right now and have a bit of a fit?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say like I'm a singer obviously, but like I think everyone should have, that I have a playlist of literally like songs you can sing your heart out to. And I mean, I'll happily put the link in the description, but like just sing at the top of your lungs. Like it's not quite screaming, but like some people sound like they're screaming because they can't sing, but like I'm not gonna judge.
I feel like we should all just turn off our mics right now and just have a wee go at it.
Or just keep the mics on.
No.
I'm in the house with my boyfriend's nanny.
My mom's gonna think I've been shot or something.
I feel like a neighbor's gonna knock on my door.
But yeah, other things you can do is like journaling, or I do a lot of intuitive movement, which I think is like crazy powerful. So it's literally just you close your eyes and you start moving. And I can't explain it because you have to experience it yourself, but something like wisdom just like flows. You're like, wow, like I'm just moving freely. It's kind of like I'm not doing this for anyone else. I'm just following my body, because I think we kind of separate ourselves from our body, but it's attached. Tap into that wisdom. It's really powerful. Other things, meditation has completely changed my life. So go check out my page. I've got a few meditations you can try out. What other things? Journaling, writing letters to yourself. Like, for example, we've wrote letters to our depression, anxiety, and Ella has expressed hers as Umbra, her.
I didn't manage to share. I mean, it's not as long as your guys' letters. And what are you doing? Look at this kid.
Oh,
So
if you haven't seen our other video, you can go check it out. I'm going to put a tab up here so you guys can check it out if you want to. And I have also done a video about my Umbra, which will explain everything in great detail. If you fancy checking it out, I'll put a link to my channel down in the description. But in summary, I had serious bad depression when I was at university and I did an art year. So I decided to draw and illustrate my depression. And I gave it the name Umbra because Umbra means like the total darkness within a shadow, because Umbra is my shadow. My depression is my shadow. It is me. It looks like me, but it's not me. Anyway, that's the summary. This is just a little thing, not as long as your guys, but it was definitely thought out because I wanted to make it really clear and really apparent as to what my project was about, because it was very, very personal and very, very in my head, and it meant a lot to me as well. So here it is. Umbra. I don't know where Umbra came from. I don't know where I first met Umbra. Umbra has no gender. Umbra has no purpose. Umbra has no aspirations. Umbra visits me in my head from time to time, sometimes angry, sometimes sad. Umbra will accompany my conscience and make decisions for me. Umbra is my shadow, but will not stay in the darkness. Instead, it will bring the darkness and cloak it gently over my shoulders. Umbra is there for me when no one else is. Umbra is a part of me. Umbra is an old friend.
I got shivers.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
All over my legs.
I made you cry. So yeah, that was just a little piece of writing. And just for context, I guess, the definition of umbra is shade, shadow, the complete or perfect shadow of an opaque body, the dark central portion of a sunspot, a phantom or shadowy apparition, as of someone or something not physically present, ghost, spiritual image. So when I read that definition, I was like, this is it. This is what is in my head. This is who lives on my back all the time. So there you go. That was my love letter to my depression.
So I actually just want to share this practice because it's just fab. So last week I wrote down what I wanted to manifest, and I scrunched them up into little pieces of paper. And I went down. I live just like by a lock.
Did you
and
plant
I just,
them?
Huh?
Did you plant them?
I've planted them.
I love that.
I've put them under the roots of this tree that I absolutely love. And like I felt into the energy and I gave thanks and I just surrendered. I was like, right, these are gonna manifest. I don't know when, but I put it out in the universe and it'll figure it out for me.
I like that. That's a good
You
thing.
would be so freaked out if like real ass trees started like flowering from them. You'd be like, holy crap.
And the flowers were just Eilish's face.
Oh my God, yes.
My baby.
Oh my God, imagine if I planted one and I was like, yeah, this is my depression. I'm going to plant it and like see it grow. And it just grows into this like dead rose bush and all the plants are like black. And I'm like, wow, depression has a really ugly flower.
I was just want to say, this is how babies are made. Forget the bees and the stalks. Just plant some pieces of paper. Sow your seeds.
Yeah, if you don't have like, you know, like land or whatever that you can plant it on, like you can get like a wee flower pot and, you know, plant it in the soil and just kind of like leave it beside, but it will manifest. You kind of have to just let go and trust. But yeah, this is the time to plant seeds. The seasons are changing, spring is coming, we're coming out of winter and it feels good.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that some of our stories or methods or anecdotes or whatever touched you, maybe like helped you. Maybe you could find something in what we've said that could help you, because really that's pretty much the only reason we're doing it, is to help you. So it'd be really good if you could help yourself to our advice, because you know that's all we want to do. We want to share stories and educate and hopefully help other people. All of our social medias and other things that we've mentioned will be down below as per usual. And yeah, that's all I've got to say, guys. Anything?
Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. See you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.